friends, family, students, faculty, and fellow graduates, welcome.
We are honored to stand before you all on this afternoon as we celebrate 12 fantastic years of public education.
Well, Colton, look at us. We actually made it.
We sure did, Cade. We sure did.
I think most of you are probably expecting a speech about our time here, about the different things we did in each grade, about all the fun we had.
Maybe even some of the life lessons we learned.
But the truth is, we didn't learn any.
He's joking, of course. We actually learned a lot, like how to distract teachers just long enough for them to forget about our homework, and that it's not the time that we spent in each grade wasn't great, it's just
what?
It's just that kind of stuff doesn't really change from year to year, you know? I mean, like, yeah, we had a frog jump in second grade, yeah, my frog took first place, and yeah, we went to the zoo a lot, and yeah, my frog took first place.
I think you said that one.
It's important.
Well, all right. I think I get what you're saying, though, because it's really people that change from year to year. We should be talking about you guys.
Today is all about us graduates, after all.
All right, well, let's see what we've got. I see Brandon out there. Brandon, raise a hand for me. In fourth grade, this kid used to squirt milk out of his milk carton like a water gun, but one day it backfired on him, hit him in the face, and he covered himself with napkins to hide it from the teachers.
Oh, classic Brandon. Then, on the Nashville band trip, Michelle Morrison stuffed Michaela Potachik into a suitcase and dropped her off in one of the rooms. Well, let's just say that Allie Rice and Anna Stuckey had a pleasant surprise waiting for them later.
Kind of like the surprise Taylor Richard got when she found out that her birthday present was a bloody hand.
All right, hold up. Let's not go scare the people. It was a cake, all right? It was modeled after a horror movie, but still, it was utterly terrifying.
Speaking of terrifying surprises, a number of unexpected injuries have occurred over the years.
That's right. Picture this. First day of 8th grade football practice. Desmond Finley and Nick Votes line up to hit each other in one of the greatest battles of our time. What happened next may make some people squeamish.
Let's just say that Desmond plus football plus Nick's knee all equals Nick screaming on the ground with a shattered kneecap.
Speaking of knees, this year at prom, certain people boogied so hard.
How hard did they boogie, Cole?
Thanks for asking. These people boogied so hard that one of them actually tore their ACL. Isn't that right, Shaylin and Tanisha?
Wow, it seems like our class has gotten hurt quite a lot now that I think about it.
Yeah, now that you say that, there's a certain nut that comes to mind. A McNut, that is.
Okay, I'll tell this one. So we're in PE freshman year, and we've got this giant parachute ball thing, and Robert McNutt wanted to see what would happen if he ran at it full speed and jumped on it. Well, what Robert didn't know is that he'd also be getting a lesson in physics that day. The ball stayed there, Robert went flying.
You know, funny you should mention physics, because Cody Allen remembers a time when the chemistry between Robert McNutt and Deshaun Fife was so strong.
How strong was it, Colton?
Well, thanks for asking, dude. Look at you, sitting on my nerves. It was so strong that they kissed. Okay, to be fair, the kiss was for a play, and Cody's hand was in between them. It was between their mouths, but still, good stuff, guys.
Speaking of Deshaun Fife, there he is. I'd just like to point out that while Deshaun Fife may be like the best in 2A right now on the 400 and everything, I actually beat him in a 40-meter yard dash in second grade. So I'm still pretty proud of that.
Yeah, he's also quite the troublemaker, along with Bailey, Sam, and Emily. All four of those hoodlums got kicked out of the 8th grade English one day because they weren't reading. That was the first time any of them had ever been sent to the office, and they've all gone downhill, sad to say.
It's amazing they graduated at all, really. We're kidding, of course. You guys are fantastic.
Well, I don't know about Bailey. Apparently, her and the other softball players like the song Talk Dirty to Me a little bit too much. So much that Mr. Weedle even offered to take the entire team to church after it came on the bus radio.
Funny stuff. Let's see. I see Jada out there. Jada tells me that her best high school memories were sitting at the lunch table with her friends. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same because all my friends are
what?
It's nothing.
Go ahead. I mean, we're all listening. It's not like they're going to go anywhere.
Okay, well, if you insist. You're a cheater, Colton. You seem to back me up on this. You cheated in Foursquare at elementary school, right, Houston? Yeah? Yeah, we agree it happened.
Well, I would consider it more skill, but I apologize. So moving along, we mentioned Emily earlier, and let me just say that Emily Knight might just be the loudest person in the entire high school. It's kind of like echolocation. We could always just find her by calling her laugh.
Think about all the different things we learned about our classmates over the years, too.
Yeah, we learned that Caleb might be one of the most talented and diligent photographers in the school's history, even though he is missing one of the most important events of our lives right now. I mean, really, where are we going to get these pictures, Caleb?
We finally learned how to pronounce Corey Beery's last name. We also learned that he likes the taste of mint. A little too much.
We learned that BJ and Cassidy are basically inseparable. In fact, I think this is the farthest that they've sat from each other since we started high school.
We learned that Jared Walls is critical to the success of any streetball team.
We learned that Kalaya's first name is the kryptonite of substitute teachers. Honestly, I don't think a single sub ever got it right, but Kalaya was always very gracious about it.
We learned that Wyatt Johnson apparently doesn't realize that the locker room shower floors are slippery and that you need to be careful when walking on them.
We learned that in another life, Morgan must have been some kind of ninja, demonstrated by the time she somersaulted over Kalaya.
We learned that Rebecca Olaminik doesn't even need sleep to win debate tournaments. She's still just as clutch when she stays up till 3 a.m.
We learned that our resident Spaniard, Alejandro, thinks that all of his teammates are Paul Bunyan, but even Paul can't catch your passes, Hondo.
We learned that Matt Baldwin's Woods project is the heaviest thing on the face of the earth. Seriously, and me and him had to lift it all by ourselves.
How heavy are we talking here?
I don't know, Matt, what, 3,000 pounds, I'd say. Just give it a
Okay, well, I doubt that, but something that no one can doubt is how well Elizabeth played Ebenezer Scrooge in our 6th grade musical.
Wait, that was Elizabeth?
Yeah, who'd you think it was?
I kind of thought that was you. I just saw the red hair and heard that high-pitched angel's voice.
Completely understandable. You know, now that I'm thinking about musicals, remember old Clark and Lewis?
Oh, that's actually Clark and Lewis. But yeah, good time. If I'm remembering correctly, Bailey Strauss played Sacagawea in that play, and she was also the lead in the musical this year.
You know, I like to think we had something to do with that. You know, showed her the ropes from a young age and whatnot.
You're welcome, Bailey.
While we're saying you're welcome, I want to say you're welcome and thank you to Michelle Schrag. If it weren't for those crazy basketball battles we had at recess, I'm not so sure that you'd be the machine that you are today, nor would I be going D1 next year, even if it is pharmacy school.
Hey, apothecaries like to play basketball too. For those of you who don't know, an apothecary is someone involved with prescriptions. So if in 7 years you see this guy handing you your pills over the counter, yeah, I would get out of there fast. I'm just kidding, I know he'll be great.
Oh, thank you. Now let me think a minute. Remember how Michelle and Brooke always used to switch glasses to confuse Mrs. Windsor?
Yeah, they were basically twins back then.
Well, I was kind of thinking, like, what if we switch clothes and...
Nope, stop. Nope, we're not going to do that. All right, moving along. Didn't the volleyball bus break down this year? I think Aaron told me they were like an hour late to their game or something.
Kind of makes all those times I was half a second late to class seem okay after all. Right, Mr. Lane?
All right, let's see. Okay, remember Maria Peterson's Vin Diesel quote in Spanish?
Claro que sí. Saved all of our butts on that Spanish exam, too.
And it wouldn't have been calculus this year without Kaylee Penner and Mr. Rob, both of whom speak a little German, if I'm not mistaken.
To them I say, Danke für die Ernegurden. Mr. Stable, correct me if I'm wrong in the pronunciation.
Yeah, I think our class has been immersed in a lot of different cultures over the years.
Yeah, that's right. If it weren't for Emmy, we wouldn't be able to shake our hips the Latin style, because these hips don't lie.
No, they don't. Well, wow, I think that's everybody.
12 years of memory sure does go by fast.
I guess there's nothing much left to say but thanks to all of you guys for making our time at school so memorable.
Without each and every one of you here today, it would not have been the same. Thank you all for an unforgettable 12 years together.
Also, as class representatives, we have to ask that everyone please refrain from using air horns and other loud devices while the graduates are being announced.
That means you, Grandma.